This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Tunnell and Raysor.
Love that app that weighs your luggage. Well, maybe you're getting ready to pack a suitcase. Every year, more than 1 million college students travel to spring break destinations. You're with your friends, no school, no work, a time to sit back and relax, right? Well, if you're not careful, that good time can go bad.
Spring break, great time to let loose and relieve some stress.
It's a nice break from the stress of school.
I'm gonna get wasted.
But don't let your guard down. It's also a perfect opportunity for sexual predators, identity thieves, and, well, bad judgment, like binge drinking. Studies out of Johns Hopkins University show college students who binge drink are more likely to have unsafe sex and to contract STDs than those who don't. And because spring break sites are notorious for underage drinking, sexual predators roam them, usually armed with date rape drugs. Added to just one drink, the combination could cause reduced inhibition, sleepiness, and memory loss.
Other spring break predators to watch out for: identity thieves. The Department of Justice reports 16 to 24-year-olds are most likely to experience attempted or successful identity theft. So that's what our kids have to keep in mind over spring break. What about us, the parents? We have to be careful too, because if our kids get into trouble, that very well may get us into trouble. And joining us today to tell us more is attorney Kelly Geloff, managing partner with the Tunnell and Raysor law firm in Sussex County. Thanks for coming in this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
So Kelly, whether our kids go for spring break or if they go to senior week, even just a weekend, how much responsibility, legal responsibility, do I hold?
Well, it depends on the scenario, but especially if the child is a minor, anybody over 18, which we know in college there are some 17-year-olds, and then of course there's the senior week that a lot of seniors in high school have. If they are under 18, you as the parent or the guardian are responsible for their behavior or anything that they incur as far as monetary damages or injuries on another person, those kinds of things. It's almost as if you, the parent, stand in the shoes of that minor child. And then with regard to the adult children, if you let them take your vehicle and they're in an accident and there's not enough insurance coverage, they can pursue you, the owner, as the parent as well. And if you're the one that gets them set up in a hotel room and they cause damage there, you can be responsible for that as well.
Well, let's go back and talk about the car. So the car's in my name. I let my child take it to spring break, and then he or she gets in an accident. Am I liable?
You are potentially liable. Most likely liable in some way in that you are the one that owns that vehicle. You are the one carrying insurance on that vehicle. What you have to be very careful of is if you were one of those parents that were trying to reduce your insurance coverage, insurance premiums by having your child excluded as a driver and maybe have them on another car. But if you let them take your vehicle where they are excluded and they are then in an accident or something else happens with regard to that, you are potentially exposed completely because insurance coverage will probably not take care of you. If you have them excluded, you're not going to have insurance on that vehicle. Then you become personally responsible since you owned that vehicle and allowed your child to go forward with that.
Right, right. Okay, so we talked about the car. How about the room? A lot of kids go to senior week and the parents end up booking the room for them because the kids are too young. That could spell trouble too, couldn't it?
It could. Many parents who do that know their child very well. Oftentimes their child is not the one that's making bad choices. They really are going there to have some fun. However, we all have children that have friends that maybe aren't that way, or your child isn't really what you think they are when they get away from you. If they end up having a party or they have children within that room that is under your name and they are under 21, you can be in trouble. You can get in a lot of trouble with regard to them criminally if they were to cause any kind of damage within the actual hotel room, or if something happened to the other children that are in that room, or I'm saying children, you know, your own child,
right.
Especially if they're under 21, say what if they died, if they had taken drugs and then they drank within that room, you can become exposed to that.
Wow, wow. Okay, so finally, you know, there are legal mistakes that parents make. We think we're doing well for our children, but there are mistakes we make, aren't there?
There are that can get you into some legal trouble. Something that does happen more often than I think people realize is, again, you have your own way, anybody has their own way of raising their children. If they're under 21, sometimes you hear parents say, well, they're going to go out there drinking anyway, I want them to do it in the home. Well, that's illegal. And again, if they have friends that come over and you allow them to do it, and something happens to them, or they leave your home, whether it's your own child or the other child or someone who's under 21, goes out on the road and causes injury, you potentially could be responsible for that as well. That's a typical scenario that happens. But in general, just keep in mind, you need to use common sense. If you're allowing your child to do something that is illegal out in the real world, you just probably shouldn't let them do it.
Right. All right, Kelly Geloff, thank you so much. Good information. And if you would like more information on Tunnell and Raysor's areas of practice, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab.